Hey there, viewers. Welcome to another section, or should I say segment, on a different kind of topic in IELTS speaking. What I wanted to talk about is, when will you do the IELTS speaking exam? Now, there are a few scenarios that it may happen. One of the scenarios could be that there is an extreme rare chance that you might have to do speaking on the same day after the listening, reading, and writing modules. This used to be pretty common during the pandemic years, and they also did, British Council and IDP did continue this trend even after the lockdown. So what would happen is, in the morning you would have listening, reading, and writing, and just before lunch you probably have a lunch break, and then after that, once you finished your lunch, and then you come back and do your speaking test. So that was the case before, but now the trend has changed in the last few months. So the other trend that used to be there, and that is still going on now, is that depending on which location you register to sit for the exam. So let's say you've sat for the Dhanmondi Lake location. So if it's in the Dhanmondi Lake location, you may have to do the speaking test before the other three modules. So you will probably get an email. It'll give you the location, date, and time. So that will be probably your first module that you'll do, which is speaking. If, for example, you're going to do this, you registered with the Dhanmondi location. What happens if it was the Bonani location? So if it's the Bonani location, you may have to do after the three modules, which is listening, reading, writing. So let's say tomorrow is your listening, reading, and writing in the Bonani location. And a few days later, maybe after 4 or 5 days, then you will do the speaking exam. So this entirely depends on how British Council and IDP allocates the dates, the time, and the location. So the first scenario it's not happening at the moment, but the scenario at the bottom, it could be before or it could be after these three modules. Even there was a time where, about a few months ago, some of the, or most of the IELTS speaking was done through a Zoom call. So an examiner from another country would conduct your IELTS speaking. I don't know the situation at the moment. I've heard that they've reverted back to face-to-face interaction. So it'll be a Bangladeshi examiner that will take your speaking test. So yeah, so depending on your luck, depending on which location you register to, it could be the first exam you face, and then a few days later will be listening, reading, and writing in that order. Or it could be listening, reading, writing in the beginning, and maybe a few days later, 4 or 5 days later, you'll get an email about the location, date, and time for the speaking module. So yeah, that's basically the scenario, and it just depends. It depends on how British Council and IDP organize all of these situations. All right, guys. Yeah, that'll be it for tonight. And yeah, hopefully this clears out all your queries and your issues. And yeah, all I'll say is have a good weekend and take care. I'll catch you later, guys.